Hello. Have you been following Kentucky's moves on the transfer portal? In this video, we'll discuss 3 veterans that Kentucky has reached out to. If you're looking for talented new recruits to join the team, subscribe to the channel. The upcoming Kentucky Wildcats roster shakeup, led by head coach Mark Pope, promises to be one of the most interesting and strategic in the last decade. With significant departures of key players likely such as Kobe Brea and Lamont Butler, the Lexington program is moving with urgency and vision to ensure that the transition is not only smooth, but also capable of maintaining the legacy of excellence that defines the Wildcats. The search for experienced veterans is essential. While the recruited rookies bring raw talent and youthful enthusiasm, the presence of players who have already been tested at elite programs provides stability and maturity to the roster. Frankie Collins, whose name has recently been linked to the Wildcats, is a perfect example of this need. While his shooting efficiency has been questionable at times in his career, Collins has shown potential to be a dynamic engine in Kentucky's offense. His ability to create space and push the pace of the game could be just what the Wildcats need to make up for their offensive losses this season. Collins, with a background at Michigan, Arizona State, and TCU, would bring a player who has faced many challenges and developed adaptive skills along the way. His 13.8 points per game average as a sophomore at Arizona State is a good indicator of his potential, while his 4.4 assists per game last season suggest he could be an effective facilitator for the young talent that will come his way. For Mark Pope, bringing in a veteran like Collins would be a smart way to combine experience with youth, creating an environment for mutual growth within the roster. Collins isn't the only name that has sparked interest in Lexington. Alex Steen, a dominant Division II wing, is emerging as an intriguing piece for the Wildcats' future. Averaging an impressive 18.2 points and 11.5 rebounds per game, Steen combines physical strength and versatility on the court. His ability to impact both sides of the ball, whether scoring or controlling the paint, makes him a valuable addition to any team looking for depth and reliability. The fact that Kentucky was among the programs that contacted him, along with rivals like Alabama, demonstrates both their recognition of his value and Mark Pope's desire to add underrated talent. Another name that has appeared on the Wildcats' radar is Silas Deary Jr., a point guard from Georgia who has caught the eye with his consistency and versatility. Deary Jr. has the ideal physique to serve as a versatile defender and playmaker on the perimeter. His averages of 13.5 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 3.1 assists per game reflect a player who contributes in multiple ways, whether on offense or defense. For a team that needs to replenish its backcourt options, Deary Jr. would be a strategic choice that could quickly fit into Mark Pope's system. The pursuit of these transfer recruits speaks to the pragmatic and ambitious philosophy that has guided Mark Pope since taking over the Wildcats. He understands that to compete at the level required in the SEC and national tournaments, it is necessary to balance youthful energy with veteran wisdom. This approach not only strengthens the roster, but also creates a culture of internal competition where each player is constantly challenged to improve. Furthermore, Kentucky's interest in players like Steen, who comes from a Division II background, demonstrates an inclusive and diverse mindset. By seeking talent outside of the traditional circuits, the Wildcats show that they are willing to explore new avenues to find pieces that can fit perfectly into the team's puzzle. This strategy not only broadens the recruiting horizons, but also sends a clear message that the program is committed to discovering and developing talent, regardless of their background. The combination of promising recruits and experienced veterans could result in a balanced and competitive roster capable of handling the challenges of the SEC and the playoffs of the national championship. With Pope, Kentucky continues to prove itself as one of the best-run and most forward-thinking programs in college basketball. Let's keep moving forward. With Mark Stoops, a name that is already synonymous with resilience and vision in the program, the Wildcats are on a journey of transformation during spring training. The key word in this process: intentionality. It's not just about playing ball or chasing fleeting glory. It's about creating something lasting, something that reflects the soul of BBN. Chris Collins, the Wildcats' co-defensive coordinator, has been the voice of this mindset. On a sunny morning, wearing full pads and focused eyes, he stressed that the work is not just physical, but mental and emotional. "We're learning to be mindful, learning to be consistent," Collins said, with a passion that echoes through the training halls. For him, being intentional means going beyond the basics. It's showing up early, asking more questions, watching extra videos, and taking detailed notes. It's a deep commitment to individual and collective growth that transcends the simple act of putting on a uniform. And this philosophy could not come at a more crucial time. After a disappointing 2022 season marked by a 4-8 record, the roster has undergone a near-complete overhaul. New faces, new stories, new expectations. But as sports fans know, a team is not born ready. It is built. And that is exactly what Kentucky is doing, building. Every shot, every block, every pass is a brick being laid in the foundation of something bigger. Spring practice, with its 15 precious meetings, becomes the laboratory where the chemistry between players begins to ferment. Collins, in discussing this process, emphasized that the concept of intentionality is not just coaching speak to sound inspirational. It is a practical, almost scientific approach to how to improve daily. "The process is proven," he said, "but the difference is in the speed at which players internalize these lessons. The sooner they embrace this mindset, the faster we will see tangible results." This is especially relevant for a defense looking to reaffirm its identity after a year of ups and downs. But what's really striking about this moment in Kentucky football is how the conversation extends beyond the field. Collins spoke about core values, about what it means to represent BBN. It's not just about talent or physical strength. It's about character, hard work, and pride. These principles are the DNA of the program under Mark Stoops, a coach who has long understood that a team's true legacy isn't in the victories it accumulates, but in the culture it helps shape. Every year, the team is different. The names change, the pieces of the puzzle are rearranged, but the essence remains. And it's that essence that Collins and his staff are trying to instill in their new players. "Growth doesn't happen overnight," he said, "but the enthusiasm is palpable. There's a sense of purpose in the air, a conviction that the Wildcats are on the right path." Fans may not see the immediate fruits of these spring practices in the stats or the box scores, but they will feel the impact when the season begins. It will be visible in the way the players move on the field, how they communicate with each other, how they face challenges with a maturity that can only be developed through meticulous and dedicated work. Kentucky football is planting seeds, and those who know the program know that when those seeds germinate, they grow strong and resilient. In a state where football is more than a sport, it is a tradition, Kentucky is showing that there is still much to cheer for. With Mark Stoops at the helm and a team committed to excellence, the Wildcats are proving that the future can be different. And it all starts with one word: intentionality.